Hello, Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight's awesome Transformer review will be of the Transformers 40th Anniversary G1 Optimus Prime reissue with the cartoon deco. And this is an amazing looking figure. I can't wait to take a look at this thing. I was ecstatic when I heard that they were going to be reissuing the G1 Optimus Prime in cartoon colors, and some have called this the Walmart exclusive Transformers 40th Anniversary reissued G1 Optimus Prime, but it technically isn't, because you can also pick up this G1 40th Anniversary reissued Optimus Prime on Hasbro Pulse. So, if you can't find it at Walmart, Hasbro Pulse has you covered. But anyway, enough about that. Let's take a look at this awesome figure. Now, it is done in the classic G1 Optimus Prime packaging. It is an homage to the original. You have a huge Transformers logo up here at the top, and on the top you also have a few steps that will transform Optimus from his truck mode to his robot mode, and that is really cool. I love that old design. Brings back so many memories. You have three awesome product shots here. You have Optimus here in his new paint deco, and it looks awesome. You can see 40th Anniversary Transformers, and then you have Optimus in the box here. That is great. 8 Plus Hasbro Autobot Commander Optimus Prime, and this packaging is just so reminiscent. I love this packaging. All right, coming to the side of the box, you have Transformers, and then you have a picture of the product in the box, almost. If you look closely, this isn't exactly the product in the box. I will get to that when we get him out. You have Autobot Optimus Prime there at the bottom, and coming around to the other side of the box, you have pretty much the same thing. Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, Optimus in his robot mode, truck mode, and Autobot Optimus Prime, and that is awesome. Coming around to the bottom of the box, you do have some credits for the box and a barcode and some more product shots of inside the trailer, and that is cool. Finally, coming around to the back of the box, you have this very, very classic G1 artwork. Wow, this was the first battle scene that you saw on the back of the packaging. You have Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes up there, and then you see the various Autobots fighting it out with the Decepticons in space, and that is cool. And if we zoom in over here, you may remember this classic read-up. It says, "It is a world of constant change where things are not what they seem. It is the world of the Transformers, a world of heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons." And that is written in several languages, and you can see the Decepticons on this side, and this is really cool. Coming down to the bottom, you got some credits for the box and the authentic Transformer symbol with the classic Hasbro logo, and that is just awesome. I love this. And coming over to the left side of the box, the final thing that we want to take a look at is the classic tech specs of Optimus Prime, and that is so awesome. We'll scroll in really close there, and you could read out there, "Function Commander, freedom is the right of all sentient beings." This is basically the same thing that you got when you were a kid, and then you have the different read-ups. I don't know if we got a red decoder in there. I guess we have to open the box and find out. And speaking of, that is the packaging, and I don't want to see this packaging anymore. I know you don't. So let's get this classic Optimus Prime out and see if he is more than meets the eye. And here we have the G1 reissued Optimus Prime out of the box, and he comes packaged in his alt mode with his trailer attached. He also comes with a nice set of instructions that will help you transform him from a semi-truck into a robot if you really need the help. And he comes with a lot of other accessories that we'll take a look at in just a moment. But first off, I want to take a look at this king of the road himself. And here we have Optimus in his semi-truck mode, and it is a very great semi-truck mode from back in the day, and it still looks great. Even with the new deco, I love this thing. Now, when it comes to measurements from the front of Optimus's bumper here to the back of the bumper of his trailer, he measures out to be 12.5 inches, and that is really cool. And when you take the pieces apart, you want to measure out that Optimus from his bumper to the back is approximately 5 inches, and the trailer itself from the front to the back is 9 inches. Now I know you're saying, well, Scorp, 5 and 9 is 14. You just said it was 12.5 inches. Well, it is. If you connect the two, obviously you're going to be coming back about 1.5 inches when you connect the trailer like this, and that's going to be why when it's combined, it's 12.5 inches, and when it's together, it's actually longer when it's not connected. But anyway, we'll take a look at the trailer when we get to accessories. I want to concentrate on the cab and Optimus Prime himself, and as we take a look at him, he is your standard red cab, and it's beautiful. This is the same mold and sculpt as the original G1 Optimus Prime. The few differences is going to be, again, in the paints and the decals. Like over here to the side, you have a typographed Autobot symbol. It's nice and white. It is based on the cartoon. You have a lot of rivets in there. You have the windows here and the little silver stripes coming down. You do have a nice rubber wheel and silver tires coming down to silver gas tanks, and to the back you do have some more rubber wheels. The smokestacks is the big thing that was going to be a contention for me, because in the promo pictures and on the side of the box, we saw that the smokestacks were cut short. They were little nubs, but here you can see that they are full-length smokestacks, and I love that. Now, they are no longer chrome, like the original came with chrome. They are painted as silver, and I like that okay. It doesn't bother me, because, you know, it's part of the new deco. The back of the truck is blue. You do get a little bit of white up here, and that's going to be for his legs. You have your trailer hitch here. Coming to the back of the truck, you do have a light gray paint here for the back bumpers, and nothing different on this side. Coming to the front of the vehicle, you do have some nice molded lights up here. You got windshields, plastic, you get little windshield wipers. Coming down, you do get a silver stripe going around right above the grill. The grill is very nice. You still got your silver headlights here, and now the bumper, which was normally chrome, has been painted white, and you got some yellow in there for Optimus's midsection, and that is beautiful. I love that. So coming around to the bottom, now this is a different. This was normally just left red, but now you got some white and some blue that will make up, again, Optimus's midsection. Coming down to the bottom of the vehicle, you got some white and just basically blue and the silver for the gas tanks, and that is really cool. And I love this. It is a fine looking truck. It has always been a fine looking truck, and that is Optimus in his truck mode. And he rolls like a champ. It is really nice with the rubber wheels. I don't know if they should have been plastic, because rubber has a tendency to degrade after time, but I'm not going to complain about it. Alright, and that is what Optimus looks like in his truck mode. Moving on. In full comparison with some other Optimuses I've had over the years, here he is with the 2019 Walmart exclusive G1 Prime reissue. Now, this one didn't have a trailer, but this is an exact reissue of this particular figure. As you can see, they are approximately the same size and height, and that will come into play a little later. And this was a very good figure. This was actually the first official review I did for the channel back in the day. And as you can see, there's a lot of similarities in these two cabs. And starting off, the main top part here, the die cast, is the same in both of them. Let's zoom in just a little closer so we can see. The windshield over here is kind of a musky, smoky color, whereas this is slightly bluer, I think. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I think this is got a blue tinge to it. And then the grill section is the same, but This is chrome and this is silver. The silver stripe across here goes all the way across on the new 40th anniversary, as opposed to being cut right here coming down to the grill. And then you have chrome for the headlight hand ports and silver for these, and then obviously the bumper has been repainted here. On the side, not much difference other than the fact that you're going to have a sticker here. You have chrome for the 2019 Walmart exclusive, and now you have silver here. And then the backs are going to be different colored. This is a lighter for the cartoon, obviously, and this is a darker blue for the original G1 toy-ish. So the smokestacks are chrome here, silver here, coming around to the back. The taillight stickers are here, no stickers here, but the light gray, which we saw before, and that is going to be really the only differences. And you go to the bottom, you can see chrome and some various other stickers on the reissued. So that is pretty neat. Zooming back out, the next one I want to bring in is the 2002 Toys R Us Commemorative Ultra Magnus release. Now, obviously, this isn't really Optimus Prime, but I do use this to show the differences in the cab style, because back in 2002, they changed the cab to have these shorter smokestacks, and that always bothered me when he had little stubby smokestacks. There was no reason that he should ever have that, and they did have an Optimus Prime in this design, so this is one of the major differences. And this was based on the original Takara Tomy Convoy G1 Optimus Prime, because you can tell when you put him side by side with these newer, later ones that have been remade, he is going to be slightly smaller, okay? Just a hair, but there is a height difference there. And the oldest Optimus Prime I have is my G2 1992 Optimus Prime. And I did have a G1 Optimus Prime at one point in my life, but I think I sold him in a collection with all my other Transformers. And this is as close as I'm going to have right now to a G1 Optimus, and this is a great figure. I've had it so many years, since 1992 obviously, and I've played with this thing so hard. He's got a lot of play wear on him, not as much as the actual reissue over here to the Walmart exclusive, so that kind of makes me think that they really cheaped out on this chrome. So, because yeah, that is all tore up, and I've had this one since 1992, and it's nowhere near as bad shape as this one. But anyway, this is a neat one because, again, it has the same similarities and differences of the others with the chrome and the silver, but the smokestacks here were basically the same original, in which case these smokestacks could actually turn and twist around. Ever since they gave us the commemorative series, they kind of pinned the smokestacks to the cab, so they're not going anywhere. But the original ones, you could move the smokestacks around, and you could tell that this is the G2 because it has the awesome little G2 insignia there. So zoom in and see that. That is pretty cool. And I did keep this one because I love the color. It was the lighter color, as you can see. It almost matches the reissued toy color, as opposed to the darker purplish blue of the original toy. And that is just an interesting fact about that. Okay, and these are some primes over the years. Moving on. And full comparison here, the 40th anniversary reissued G1 Optimus Prime is with a lot of other G1 Autobots, such as the G1 Power Glide, the G1 Hound, the G1 reissued Bumblebee with cartoon accurate head, the G1 Beachcomber, the Toys R Us commemorative reissued Inferno, and the G1 Sea Spray. And these are a lot of my favorite G1 figures, and this is great having them all back out here. I haven't played with some of these in a long time, but taking a look how they stack up with Optimus. Now, when the first series came out, it was said that Optimus was the biggest, strongest Autobot of them all since he was the leader. That wasn't necessarily true when it came to later lines or issues, like Blaster, I think, wiped the floor with Prime because he was so huge. But at this point in time, Optimus was the biggest in the first series. Power Glide here, he was a mini-bot, so he's gonna be obviously smaller than Prime, but he's cool. He's got a lot of width there to him. And then Hound is a special Autobot for me. He was my first, and he comes up to about midway to Prime, and that's okay. I love that. Bumblebee and Beachcomber are obviously going to be small because they were mini-bots, and that is cool. And then Inferno was a bit longer than Prime, I think, just by an inch or so, but he wasn't as tall as Prime, as you can see. I think if this was going to be realistic scale, I think the fire truck should be a little, if not the same height as Prime, but you can't have that because Prime is the biggest. And then here he is with a Sea Spray, another one of my favorite mini-bots. And yeah, this is some awesome G1 representation for my favorite cartoon series, and this is really cool. All right, and that is gonna be your comparison with some other awesome G1 bots. Moving on. And full transformation. Now this is a G1 transformation. If you've never seen it before, it is very simple. So pick Optimus up, pull his legs down, pull his feet up from the bottom, bring his forearms out from the side like such. And now this is where most of the kids didn't follow directions. They just ripped the arms forward. But what you're supposed to do is push the forearm back where this section breaks open, and then it can easily rotate forward instead of just pulling it out. So use a little bit of care for doing that. Again, pull it back and then slide it around, and that will save a lot of wear and tear on your toy. But we were kids and we really didn't care. At this point, bring the head up and then insert your fists into the headlight spaces like such. And that is pretty much going to be Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And this is such a classic robot mode that, you know, every kid that I knew had an Optimus Prime in one form or another. And this is just brings back so many memories. So let's zoom in on him real close and take a look at this newly painted Optimus Prime. And coming real close in on the 40th anniversary reissue Optimus Prime's head, it is very, very good. It is your standard and sculpt and mold of the G1 head, but now painted in cartoon colors, and I love it. He has his blue battle helmet, which is really nice. You even got the details on the side with his horns or antlers or antenna coming up. I love that. You do got a gray painted crest right here in the middle of the helmet. Coming down, you have the beautiful blue eyes now with a little bit of gray for the nose, coming down to the gray faceplate. That is awesome, and you've got some detail on the faceplate, which is standard for a G1 head. And this is just a beautiful sculpt, and the blue eyes definitely make it cartoon accurate now. Coming around to the back of the head, you do got your very large 4 prongs. Now those are really large compared to how they were on the regular G1. They were really small and they were kind of centered around the head, but that is really neat. Coming back to the front and zooming out a little bit, we will see the upper chest of Optimus, and that is really nice. And there is nothing that you would not expect here that we haven't seen in the truck mode, except now, you know, the sides are opened up for the shoulders, and you got the nice Autobot symbol there. Nice silver for the smokestacks. Still got the die-cast chest piece here. Coming down the abdomen is your grill. Coming down. Now the forearms, you do get a little bit of detail here with the forearm markings, and that is pretty cool. Coming down, the legs are now white, and if we zoom in to take a look at these hands, now he does have what I call the coffee cup hands. If we look at those, they are going to be the newer sculpted hands where the port here is lifted up from the hand a little bit. Normally, when it first came out, the G1 Optimus's hands were flush straight across, but with the addition of this extended port, his weapon can be held straight on instead of having to turn his laser rifle to the side. And that is a pretty cool design for his hands. Coming down to his lower legs, they are blue with the silver gas canisters. You can see the tires. And then the feet with the gray toe section. Not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, I think this Optimus looks awesome. I love the cartoon color aesthetic. It's always going to be what I go for when I have a toy, to make it look as accurate to the cartoon as possible. Coming around to the back, nothing that you wouldn't expect here. He still has this open gap here, and the legs just go straight down and nothing at the bottom. So that is pretty neat. If you scroll in, you do get a little bit of copyright detail molded into the back, so that is neat. All right, and that is what your Optimus Prime is going to look like. Moving on. And for articulation, now the G1 toys were notorious for having very limited articulation, and Optimus was no different. So starting at the head cannot move, it cannot wiggle waggle, it cannot turn around left or right. It can kind of go back if you want to say that because of the transformation hinge. And you can kind of look up, I guess, but that breaks your sculpt and it doesn't really count, I don't think. Coming to the shoulders. Shoulders can go around 360 degrees on this nice ratchet joint. And if you want to, you can kind of butterfly them back and forth with the transformation hinge. You do have a nice 90-degree elbow bend like there. That is good. And the forearm can go around 360 degrees. That is cool. Coming down to the hand, because it's detachable, can go around and pop off, but it can go around 360 degrees like that, but it can't hinge in and out or up or down. So yeah, that is cool. Coming to the chest of Optimus, you can kind of lift up his head and then bring down the chest plate and reveal the matrix chamber, but it's just hollow and there's nothing there. But you can play with it like he's, you know, getting repaired and stuff like that. So that is always fun. That goes back up there. As far as waist articulation, no waist articulation. You could use the legs to kind of give him kind of a backward ab crunch. Fall backwards, but again, you're just using the legs to do that. And the legs cannot go forward, but they can go backwards a little bit, so he can kind of back step. He does have a nice knee bend, 90 degrees there, so that is cool. And that will bring you down to the toes, and the toes can just kind of go down, and again, that's due to transformation. So there's not a lot of articulation with Optimus, just what you can get during the transformation. But that's okay. That's how he's always been, and we loved him for it. We thought he was great no matter what. Alright, and that is your Optimus Prime's articulation. Moving on. And for accessories, now I'm going to say that the hands are accessories because they're not integrated into the body. There are little attachments that you have to have, and they look really nice. I wanted to compare them with the hands throughout the years. As you can see, this is a nice blue molded hand, and it does have its extended port, which I call the coffee cup hand because it looks like, from this perspective, he's holding a cup of coffee. But basically, it does have a sculpted hand in there, and it has a little tab here at the back to port into Optimus. And if we take this and we look at the G2 hand, this is one of the most original hands that I could have. It's the same sculpt, except, as you can see, it is flush at the top, so it doesn't have the extended port. and the tab at the end is a little more squared off and thicker. So I always like that about the G1 hands, but for the most part, the hands are the same and they look alright. And if you had the reissued Walmart exclusive Optimus that just came with the cab, he came with the coffee cup hands too, so that is pretty neat. And everybody knows that when you have the Optimus Prime hands, to store them, you would have to bring Optimus out, bring down the front part of the cab, and you see, you have two little spots in there. And yes, I know those are for Diaclone drivers, but they are also perfect spots for the hands, and that's where you would always put your hands, and that's where you store the hands when he's in truck mode, and you'll never lose them because that is awesome and they can't fall out. And yeah, there you go. And that is going to be Optimus's hands. And for Optimus's next accessory, he comes with his laser rifle, and this is a really cool laser rifle. Now, this is the first version of the laser rifle. Optimus did have two versions. You had this one with the really large barrel at the end, and then you had the resculpted one later, which had a very sharp and thinner barrel at the end. And this is actually my favorite, the second version, but this is going to be reissued from the first, so we're getting the original thicker barrel gun, and this is really cool, nicely done in black plastic, and you have your peg here, and that can peg into Optimus's hand, and you can see with the new extended port on the fist, he can hold it straight out and zap Decepticons as he sees fit. And this is one of those pieces that is a must when you have a reissued Optimus Prime. Well, either one or both. You could have thrown in both guns and I wouldn't have complained. And this is going to be Optimus's laser rifle. And the rest of Optimus's accessories that we're going to be talking about are going to be inside of his trailer. So let's take a look at the trailer itself, and it's really nice. Now, we discussed earlier that the trailer itself is 9 inches long, and it's basically just a big plastic box, and I love it. It is very useful. It does a lot of cool things. So you have your standard trailer, and it has a lot of cool molded detail on the outside. You have a nice gray strip here with the Autobot symbol there. You do have 2 holes here for screws. Now, this has always been on there, but in the earlier versions of Prime's trailer, this strip, instead of being painted, was a sticker, and the sticker covered up the holes there. But for the most part, it still had all the same designs. And coming around to the back of the trailer door, you got some designs there, and that is really neat. Same design on this side, coming around to the front. Now, you did have an ejector switch here, and I'll show you what that's for when we open up the trailer, just like this open square and this open square on the top of the trailer. There is a purpose for all of those open squares, but for right now, they're just there. And coming around to the bottom of the trailer, you got some nice blues, and here are the wheels, and then you have the stands that will come out like this, and that will stabilize your trailer like such. And they can even go forward, and I don't know, some would say that that kind of held Optimus in place, but I don't really think it did. I mean, it may have held right under his back feet type section, but I don't know how much of that is actually correct. And you do have your little tabs on the bottom, and those would tab into the top of the stabilizer feet right here. So whichever side you wanted them to have them on, it would like post in there. So that is neat. And then you had your open port here, and this would tab into Optimus and his trailer hitch right here on the back of his truck mode. So that is cool. Now, I'm not sure if they ever had a design for this tab or if there's a purpose for it. There are better experts than me to discuss the history of everything Optimus Prime, like Bert the Stormtrooper is a good one about Optimus Prime, and George the 80s Transformers fan. They're good if you really want some more detail about how Optimus was put out. And that is my very basic view on the trailer. So, to get it open, what you'll want to do is pull out your stabilizers on both sides, and then bring down the back door of the trailer, like such, and then open up both sides, and there you have the inside of Optimus's trailer or battle platform, and this is really cool. And the first accessory I want to talk about inside the trailer is going to be Roller, and Roller is this nice little silver car, and if you hit this button in the back, the trailer will eject Roller, and that is a really nice gimmick. Roller is a standard little car, and he came with the original Optimus, and he was like this, and he has a lot of cool details sculpted and molded in. He has 6 little wheels that roll around, and if you look inside, he does have seats that would accommodate 4 little Diaclone pilots, but we never got any Diaclone pilots because that was from a different universe, I guess. And on the back you have the 2 little ports that will go into the launcher right here, and that is pretty neat. And over the years, a lot of rollers that you see are going to be blue. This is based on the original G1 release, and then the original G1 release, Roller was silver, and you could see that he was silver in the cartoon, so I don't have a problem with him being silver. So he rolls really nicely. And he does have this nice little port up here on the top of him, and you can, if you're so inclined, have him carry Optimus's laser rifle around, and that's very helpful, especially if Optimus drops his laser rifle. And something else that Roller can carry is the welding gun. Now, when this came out in the United States a long time ago, in 1984, I guess, they considered this a gas pump of some sorts because they didn't really recognize it to be what it really was, which is the welding gun. And this can port right into the top here, and Roller can take the welding gun to Optimus in case he needs to be repaired off scene somewhere, and that is really neat. And that's going to be your little Roller. And now coming to the combat deck, you can see this is a very scrubbed down version of the original trailer. You do not have any decals or stickers in here. Normally, when you got this as a kid, and back in 1984, you had either stickers right here, or if it was the first edition, you had the steel panels right here. And then over under these little sections, you could put little stickers to show different readouts and such, and that was pretty neat. And you could put stickers here and over here and everywhere. Basically, on these old G1 Transformers, you could put stickers. And then you had the different stations inside the trailer. You had that had little seats for Diaclones, and you could put stickers around here on this one, and then you could put stickers and people in this little panel here, and they're stationary, they don't do anything. You do have some ports in here, which you could put Optimus's laser rifle in there, or you could put the welding gun again, if so you don't lose it. So that will bring us to the mobile robot section, and this guy can come up like this, and then he has little arms that would come around and do all sorts of fun stuff. They can move this out here, and he has a little hook at the top that will open up and close. And then on this other side, he has a little satellite dish that would come up. Let's zoom up a little bit and zoom in, because that's a cool little thing to take a look at. And on this side, he did have a little dial that you could use to spin the satellite around. That was cool. And it could twist up and down, obviously. And the little robot had missiles right here. Now, I think the original had a launching effect, but they took that out for safety and they never put it back in. But if you want to play around with it, the missiles can come out pew, and fire off. And they are just, you know, basically dark gray missiles with some nice detail in there. So that is pretty neat. And you get a sprue of 4 of them, and they are still cut and designed to fit a certain way. And finally, when it comes to this guy, the canopy here can open, and you can look in there and you can see that there is a seat for another Diaclone driver. So when I was a kid, I wasn't sure if we'd get Diaclone drivers. I didn't know what Diaclone was. I just knew that they looked like little seats for humans. I thought they were going to give us Spike and Sparkplug, Carly and Chip, and that's what they were preparing us for. For future releases, but that was not the case. But anyway, this is your little robot guy, and he's fun. He can move around in different directions, and he could, attack. And this is again called your battle platform. And at some point, if you're so inclined and you want to have him poking out, you can close up the trailer and have him up at the top if you wanted to, and then Optimus could drive down the road with him sticking up like this, shooting backwards or shooting forward. So that is pretty neat. And you could even bring him a little lower, like such, to bring him sticking out this bottom port. And that's what the little squares are there for, so the little robot can stick out. And what would be neat, and I don't think they did it for this particular release, but they did later on, that Roller at some point was able to carry the trailer. I don't think he could do it in this one. I think he got that ability later. But if he could do this, he could just be a mobile. Well, yeah, you could kind of do it. I don't know if it was designed like that, but that is a pretty fun little play option there. So Roller can take the trailer around, so that is cool. And also another thing that this trailer could do would be turn into a repair bay. So basically you would set this up on its top. Let me get this back open. Open it up and stand it on its head like this, and then you could bring Optimus in. Let's see, I don't have Optimus transformed yet, so I'll just use my G2 Optimus because he's my favorite. And the little robot here could turn around and, do some really cool repair. Actually, that would be fun if they had that little satellite. But anyway, you could do a lot of cool, fun stuff. Repair, or you can bring in your gun here, and Optimus could repair himself. And it could actually fit into his hand. So if you wanted to hold it like that, so that would be cool. Or put it maybe like that. I need my hand repaired. And then bring a hand in. There we go. Very nice. So yeah, there is a lot of playability that you could do with Optimus's trailer. And of course, because it was an actual trailer, you could, if you had your Autobots, let's get this transformed back into this little mode here. Put that up, bring this closed back up. You could, if you were so inclined, put in some various Autobots. And this was a big trailer, so you could throw a lot of them in there. You could see Spray, and you could throw in, here's some Bumblebee, and maybe even Beachcomber, and, just keep piling them in. Here you go with Power Glide. Get in there. I can't get in there. Yeah, get in there. Oh, gosh. Oh, close them all up. And then you could have Optimus come out and carry them away. So yeah, that is gonna be really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of fun playability with the G1 Optimus Prime and his trailer. So this is an awesome reissue. I'm very happy that Hasbro has released this, and what makes it better is that it's in the cartoon deco. So yeah, this is pretty cool. All right, and that is going to be Optimus's accessories. Moving on. And for comparison with the 40th anniversary reissue here in the middle, and the Generation 2 Optimus here to your left, and the G1 reissue Walmart exclusive to the right, you can see they all pretty much look the same. The coloring is going to be darker on the Walmart reissue as opposed to the G2. And the G2 is the closest I'd have to an original. And I kept the G2 because it was done in a lighter blue scheme. Now, when Optimus came out, he was done in a darker blue, almost purplish, and the trailer details were done in this color. But then when they got rid of the steel plates, they went to a lighter blue, sort of like the G2 here. But for the most part, you've never really had a light blue like you have on the 40th anniversary cartoon redeco. And I love this. You have the yellow eyes on both of the older ones with the blue eyes. Big difference there. The chest windows on the G2 and the reissue were like that smoky brownish. And then you have the light blue for the windows here on the 40th anniversary reissue. The stripe again here on the G2 goes down at an angle to the grill and on the reissue, but on the 40th anniversary it goes straight across. The 40th anniversary is the only one that has these forearm details. These are all supposed to have stickers here, but I never liked the stickers on the G1 forearm, so no. Then coming down to the midsection, chrome, and then obviously the white plastic with the yellow, which is more cartoon accurate. And what you can't really see is this section, which was never painted on any of the others, is painted on the 40th anniversary to be white and blue for his midsection. And again, it was not painted on any of the others that we've ever gotten. The legs here, chrome, white for the 40th anniversary, chrome for the gas tanks on both, and silver on the 40th anniversary. And then you get your sticker detail on the legs, which I didn't mind the sticker detail on the legs, but here there's no stickers. Even on the toes, you just got standard paint. Take a look at the backs. Nothing that you wouldn't expect on the backs. They're all open and very similar to what you have here. Now, there's interesting, on the G2 you have the sticker detail going all the way across instead of not anything over here on the more modern figures, so that is pretty neat. And you can see there is a difference if you want to look at the heads. What I was referring to earlier, the G2 head has the very small circles on the back, whereas the 40th anniversary and the Walmart remold have those big thick circles. So that is something that's interesting and different. But anyway, that is going to be the differences in your Optimuses throughout the years. And I really do like the new 40th anniversary one. You got the best of both worlds, I think. All right. And for comparison, here you have Optimus with his fellow Autobots: Powerglide, Hound, Bumblebee, Beachcomber, Inferno, and Sea Spray. And going by this scale, Optimus definitely is the biggest and strongest of the bots, and they still look great together. Alright, and this is going to be your comparisons. Moving on. And this has been the Transformers 40th Anniversary G1 Optimus Prime reissued in cartoon colors. I love everything about this G1 redecoed Optimus Prime. The G1 Optimus Prime was always a great Transformer, even when you were a kid. But this is the way it should have been released to begin with. The colors are vibrant, the eyes are bright and live. Where the heck the yellow came from, I have no idea. No, I do know it was originally that way in Japan when they bought it from Takara. They didn't want to change that, but they should have when they were basing it on the cartoon. But anyway, that's okay. It only took 40 years to give us what we really wanted when we were a kid. But seriously, this is a great callback to a great figure from 1984, and it comes with everything you need for a G1 Optimus Prime. He has his trailer, he has roller, he has his gun, and the robot with the missiles. And it's not exactly 100% how it was back in the day, but it is close enough for government work, as they say. The coloring and deco is basically what's going to sell this thing, and if you have always wanted a G1 Prime that looks like the cartoon, here you go. This is a great figure, and I cannot say enough good things about this. I might pick up another one if I find it in the wild. This is technically a Walmart exclusive, but not really, because if you can't find it at Walmart, you can go to HasbroPulse.com and you can find it there. And if you are looking for this awesome set, it's going to cost you about $80 on the Walmart shelves and on the Hasbro Pulse website. So I highly recommend this, especially if you're a G1 Optimus Prime fan. And if you want, you can go to toyhacks.com or riprolabels.com and you can find some labels for the inside of the trailer and Optimus's arms and legs, if it bothers you that they don't have those on there. But it doesn't bother me. Maybe the trailer, it does look a little bare, and I wouldn't mind having something in there. And that's pretty much all I can say about this. If you're looking for them, happy hunting. Alright guys, that's it. That is the review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had this Optimus when you were a kid, I hope the review made you feel young again like it did me. But in any event, have a great night, and until next time, keep playing.
Autobots, transform and roll out!
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.